don't sit next to him when he has a cup of hot coffee in his hand. We'll talk about that later, Joe. To my executive director emeritus, Sue Dorfer, I was heartbroken when she left the center. I said, gosh, we just have to get this right. I'm fortunate to represent Ward 15, where the LGBT Center is located, right across the street from my ward office. And she says, don't worry, we're going to find a good director. And gosh, I was working with Jan Klein the whole time in the Ordinance for Arts District, and Jan, you've been such a blessing. I have to tell you, Assistant Attorney General Perez, you talked about advocating for things that are important to Jan's constituent. When I open it right, he's like in my face, and he's making sure I get it right, so I know what you mean. And to our U.S. Attorney, Stephen Derelbach, I had the opportunity to, wasn't able to attend the City Club when you spoke, but I watched it in its entirety on cable TV, and the words you said about Catherine Krisloff and Jim Maroney, two fabulous public servants. Public service is an honorable profession. There are honorable people who are in it, and many people are in this room right here. I appreciate those words, especially right now, dealing with what we are dealing with here in this community. I don't know this, but I'm looking for John Corlett. I think I probably, though Tim Downey just popped in the room, I think I might know Jeff Ramsey probably longer than just about anybody. I first met Jeff in 1981, so that's almost 30 years. Is anyone proclaim longer than 30? Okay, good. I have that answer. Jeff is just an amazing person, and he is one of those persons who no is not in his vocabulary. He always figures out a way to get things done. And I have to tell you, we had that situation, Mr. Perez, in our community in 2006. We had a series of homicides that had occurred, 5 actually in 4 days. And one of them, I thought, and Sue thought, was a hate crime against this young African-American man who was gay. And so what did I do? I quickly called Jeff Ramsey and a few pastors in our community, Augie White, Pastor Doug. And I said, we need to do something. I was receiving phone calls at my office, and people said, we need to rally against the police. We need to stand tough and take back our community. And we have a very safe and welcoming and loving community. And it was Jeff Ramsey who said, what we're going to do is we're a peaceful community, and we're going to have a peace vigil. And within 4 days, we put this all together. We had 500 people at the corner of West 65th and West Clinton came together to pray together, to sing together, to hold one another, and to talk about peace and nonviolence. And it was so refreshing to see how the community came together, but Jeff instantly, he had certain people who wanted to march on City Hall, a certain group wanted to march on the police, and Jeff said, no, we're a peaceful community. So I so appreciate his leadership and guidance. Many of you know Jeff Ramsey. Jeff really has cut his teeth in community organizing. Before he was involved with the Detroit Community Development Organization, he was a real estate agent for Progressive Urban Real Estate, and worked his way up literally through the ranks and held just about every title in the Detroit Community Development Organization. Till today, he now serves as the executive director. We have this amazing network of nonprofits in our city, and I think if you ask any of my colleagues who are among the best local development corporations in the city, Detroit certainly would be, and Jeff leads that amazing organization. This is funny. I received an email at 7:01 from Jeff, and he was following it up, and I replied back and said, "Go to sleep, you are sick." And he replied back to me, he says, "I feel," can I say a bad word? S-H-I-T-T-Y. He said, "When I'm really bored and with Law and Order reruns, it's just not cutting it." But he did say it means a lot to me that you were the presenter. Jeff is an amazing person who is leading a renaissance of our community. The Gordon Square Arts District really has been one of the hallmarks of our community. the Cleveland Eco Village. In a down economy, Mr. Perez, the community that we represent, there's about $500 million of economic development activity that is happening, and a large part of that is due directly to Jeff Ramsey. So we're going to do something a little different. Jeff may get to watch the tape. I'm going to ask my council colleague, Brian Cummins, to come up and play Jeff Ramsey and accept this award on his behalf. Come on up, Brian. Again, Detroit Shorey and Jeff Ramsey's leadership is doing something different. I had a local running corporation just to the south of my ward that was fledgling and kind of not as strong as it needed to be, and it was it was dissolving. And Jeff Ramsey said, you know, I can step up and work in it. And there's a neighborhood in Brian's ward, and Jeff is helping out there as well. So, Jeff Ramsey.
Thanks, Matt. I'm truly humbled to be here and accept this from Jeff. I think Jeff clearly, first of all, I'll tell you, Jeff Nancy just got an email from him. I was actually with Jeff about 12 and a half hours ago at a 7:30 meeting with Chief Warren, talking about some economic development to show you how dedicated someone like Jeff Ramsey is. But I really am humbled to be here because all the speakers this evening, you know, the thing that hit me really in the discussions today has really been the word persistence. And there's this elusive, magical combination of elements. Dedication is something that a lot of people can have. But I think one of the most elusive ingredients to persistence is a deep and long-standing level of commitment. And that means spending time and time, digging your heels in, and working very hard, either on an issue or in a geography area, such as Jeff has worked in Detroit Shorey for almost 30 years. And to have that long-term commitment, combined with the dedication and persistence, is something truly, I think, that we're celebrating this evening in terms of the heroes of this Heritage Day. The other thing that I think I'd like to just mention, because his award is regarding community development, is something in which I'm sure Jeff's strength is being part of the LGBT community. I don't think it's so easy that often, very difficult for someone like Jeff, where you're working in communities that have changed dramatically in the last 30 years, really during the course of time he's been working in community development through the 80s, 90s, and now through 2010. And we have such a density and pool of low-income people that have been struggling, difficult economies, changing demographics of the neighborhood. Thank God that Jeff has worked at it as hard as he had with that persistence to see the type of benefits and victories that community has been able to enjoy over these last 4 years, with the Gordon Square Arts District winning the Arts Prize and the various other accolades that they've gained. But so often in Jeff's world, it's not so much about getting complete acceptance and support. It's struggling to get tolerance and understanding amongst a really diverse group of people within a community. And I think Jeff is just exemplary in that. And to that, thank you so much for allowing me to say a few words.